Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Good evening, everybody. We will move to item D. That is the 2024 AMP Richard H. Gorsuch Scholarship Award presentation to Devin Dietrich. Good evening.
Good evening, Council President, Mayor, members of Council. My name is Harry Phillips. I'm Director of Marketing and Member Relations for AMP. And here to honor one of your graduating seniors with the Richard H. Gorsuch Scholarship. Just a little bit about AMP, very briefly. We're about 132 members in 9 states: Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, and Delaware. These member utilities, just like Napoleon Power and Light, are community-owned, and they serve the communities which they are a part of, and it makes a big part, too, of public power. And public power is also another reason why I'm here to kind of talk about a scholarship, because public power is a great career for many, and not that we're trying to coerce Devin into a public power career, but it is one that would be, and we're always looking for talented people like Devin and younger ones like him to make a career out of public power. So it is a worthwhile thing. I've been in it for 26 years myself. So there's a lot of benefits to serving the public like we do here in Napoleon. And provides a number of services to member communities, including power supply planning, engineering, environmental compliance, technical services, safety, line worker training, legal assistance, and communications, along with other services. Many of the AMP members receive a portion of power supply from AMP, which includes a diverse portfolio of wholesale power purchases, either through AMP or the energy purchase on the market. AMP and its members are committed to achieving a sustainable balance between being responsible corporate citizens, government entities, employers, and environmental stewards, and we're simultaneously providing electrical power resource. It's in service as well to the customers. The Richard H. Gorsuch is one of 2 awards that AMP does give people the opportunity to have these $3,000 scholarships. To date, we've given away just about $500,000 since 1988. And 24 is no different. The Richard H. Gorsuch scholarship is in memory of Richard H. Gorsuch, who was the president of AMP until his death in 1987, so he was there from 83 to 87. The scholarship is awarded to graduating high school seniors. The scholarship is also available to students whose parent or guardian is an employee of AMP or an AMP member. If the AMP member or guardian is an employee of the AMP member, that parent or guardian must work directly or provide management or leadership of the electric utility, electric department, or joint action agency. This year there were 18 students who were nominated for the Gorsuch Scholarship. Finalists took a test about public power. The AMP Board of Trustees provided 5 recipients based on their scholastic record, personal achievements, and public power test scores. We're pleased that a strong municipal like Napoleon is home to one of this year's scholarship recipients. And by the way, the other scholarship that we have is called the Wright Scholarship. And that's for any graduating senior who receives power from our communities, such as Napoleon. And we've actually had a couple of communities in the AMP footprint that have won both. So it can be done that you can win the Gorsuch and the Wright. Just a little something about Devin. He's the son of Michael and Amy Dietrich. Michael is an electric distribution service supervisor for the city of Napoleon. Devin is a graduate of Napoleon High School. He is planning to attend the University of Toledo to study civil engineering. Devin was extremely involved in community activities, and these are some of his highlights. He's an active member of the National Honor Society. Devin participated in the Napoleon High School football, baseball, and basketball. He earned an associate's degree in individualized studies for engineering technology from Northwest State Community College. Devin has volunteered for many activities and programs throughout his community, including Kara's Memorial Garden, and frequently helped with community cleanup. We find Devin to be a talented student with a promising future, and I'm pleased on behalf of the board, AMP of trustees, to present Devin with the scholarship.
Gary, would you guys like to come up here?
Picture in front of the logo.
Out of the way.
Devin, your hair wasn't quite as gray when you took the exam.
It's frosted
Baseball
now.
season. Baseball season.
Get over, scooch over that way, so we're kind of behind the seal there. Go on 3, 1, 2, 3. And 1 here, 1, 2, 3.
See, you have a speech prepared. I heard you say so. Congratulations.
I administered the exam for Devin, and
That's how we
that's how he got it. And then it took him so little time to go through that exam. I'm thinking one of two things: either he really, really bombed this thing, or he did pretty well. Apparently, he did pretty well. So congratulations, Harry. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. And congratulations again, Devin. If you'd like to stay, you're more than welcome. If not, we totally understand. We will move on to item E, the approval of minutes. Councilman Hayes. I'll turn it over to you.
Mr. President, on page 7 of the printed minutes, in the second item, the word anonymous should be unanimous. About a third of the way down the page.
Good catch.
All right, we will get that corrected. If there are no other corrections, those minutes shall stand approved after that correction is made. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Item F, citizen communication. If anyone in attendance tonight would like to address the council for anything outside of the agenda, feel free to come forward and we'll be happy to hear your comments.
Hello again, everybody. Just wanted to follow up on my visit from a couple of weeks ago, doing further research on the safe haven proposal as to whether that potential project might be sent to committee or not, or some other decision along that way. I just wanted to follow up with you guys to see if there was any progress with it, to see if there was any thoughts made on that at this point.
Thank you for the follow-up.
Yeah.
Personally, I reached out to Ted Sweeney with the pallet sales company. We did exchange some emails. He
That's
sent
great.
some information over for my review. I also reached out to the mayor of Fayetteville, Mayor Jordan, and his chief of staff, Norton. Still waiting to hear a response. I sent that about 10 days ago.
Okay.
Would love their feedback on pros and cons
Absolutely.
of the project. Also have some other communities that I would like to reach out to. Once we have some more info, I'll definitely partner with Andy.
Yeah. And Andy, did you get an email from me? I had sent along
I
a
did.
couple of city manager contacts.
received
Jackson, Michigan was one of them, so one that's closer to us in a cold weather climb, that kind of thing. So if you need more of those, just let me know. I'd be glad to pass it along and pass along any more information that you guys might have, or might need, rather, yeah, as I can get it, so.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank
great.
you, Joel.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, we will move to item G, reports from council committees. G1, the Finance and Budget Committee did meet on June 24th, 2024. And Tom?
Yeah, so under item A, we will be recommending the council later on the agenda to approve the second quarter budget adjustments. On item B, actually, that'll be addressed later on under L2. We'll be
suspension. Perfect, thank you. G2, the Safety and Human Resource Committee did not meet on June 24th, 2024 due to lack of agenda items. And G3, the Technology and Communications Committee did not meet earlier tonight due to lack of agenda items. Item I, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. I-1, ordinance number 021-24, an ordinance supplementing the annual appropriation measure, supplement number 2 for the year 2024, and declaring an emergency.
Motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Kevin?
Okay, so this is the second quarter budget adjustments, and these were reviewed by the Finance and Budget Committee meetings and went over through there. I'd be happy to entertain any questions about any of the increases. We will ask for suspension of rules so it doesn't go through 3 reads like we typically do, and this allows us to enact these budget adjustments and then close out the quarter.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from council? Do we have a motion for suspension, please?
Motion for suspension?
Second.
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll on suspension.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes. Okay, and please call the roll on the ordinance.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes. Okay, the ordinance will pass on first read under emergency, under suspension. I-2, ordinance number 022-24, an ordinance authorizing the finance director to make appropriation transfer of appropriation 2 from one appropriation line item to another appropriation line item pursuant to ORC section 5705.40 for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, as listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
Second?
Thank you. Kevin?
So this is the second quarter appropriation transfers. The difference of what this is doing is it is taking budgeted amounts from one line item to another. Again, these were discussed at the Finance and Budget Committee meeting. If anyone has any questions on these, I'll be happy to answer this. So this does not increase nor decrease our overall budget. It just moves from one line item to the next. And again, I will ask for suspension for the same reason as before, is that this allows us to close out the quarter.
Thank you, sir.
Motion for suspension?
Thank you, Mr. Hayes.
Second?
Michaela, please call the roll on suspension.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes. Any questions or comments? I'm hearing none. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
On behalf of the Finance Department, we thank you.
Thank you. Item I-3, ordinance number 025-24, an ordinance amending the City of Napoleon rules, terms and conditions governing the water and sewer service, specifically Rule 5, Special Service and Extension, and Rule 32, Appendix A fees, and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Thank you. Andy?
Thank you, Council President. The Water and Sewer Rules is actually a 96-page document containing 33 sections. The changes that we are requesting are specifically in Section 33, or Rule 33, and, Rule 5, and then Rule 33, which adjusts the fees. And I will try to summarize those as briefly as possible. The first is no sewer credit will be given without the use of a hose meter. For an example, if somebody in the month of August waters their lawn with their hose, and then comes in 1st of October and says, I want a sewer or credit for the water or the sewer, we'll no longer allow that. They have to have a hose meter in order to measure that water, so we know what kind of credit to give them. There'll be a 3-day notification. Okay, so there's hose meters and there's hydrant meters. Hose meters, we have bunches of those. And a homeowner can come out, get one of those, hook it up to their hydrant on their house, or the faucet on their house, and water, and then we record the water usage and can give you a credit for your sewer, so, because it's not going down the sewer. A hydrant meter is a much larger device. We have just a few of those, a dozen, 6, half a dozen. And they're quite expensive. The last Brian quoted them, I looked into buying them, they're $2,400. That was a couple of years back. They're much larger, they're used for larger projects, construction projects, et cetera. People want to fill their pool, want to do it in a hurry, and don't want to use a hose meter. They get a hydrant meter, hook it up to, the city goes out, hooks it up to the hydrant, and they can fill their pool far faster than they can with a garden hose. So when I'm speaking about this, I'm speaking back and forth between hose meters and hydrant meters, and I'll try to make that distinction when I'm mentioning the changes. There will be a 3-day notification for using a hydrant meter. Currently, it's just a 24-hour notification. We're going to ask for a $500 deposit on hydrant meters. Once again, those are $2,400 devices or higher, probably much higher now. We're just protecting our investment there. And that currently the rules state that as determined, it doesn't state a dollar amount, it just says as determined by the city utility department. So this puts a dollar amount to that, and it's $500. It adds a contractor clause, section 5.5C. Contractors can use this for a number of reasons, dust control, grading, et cetera. It specifies that the contractor cannot transport water outside the city. The contractor shall not remove the meter from the hydrant in which it was originally installed. That is specifically for our city crews to do. Only city personnel can install, remove, or relocate the hydrant meters. It adds a damage clause, section 5.5G. It basically states that any damage to the meter must be reported immediately. Fines and fees will apply for misuse, intentional damage, et cetera. And it identifies a usage calculation if the meter is lost or damaged. And it just defines what that calculation is. We've also added a hydrant meter application. Currently, in many cases, we'll have a pool contractor call and say, I need a hydrant meter delivered out to 123 Main Street. And so we have delivered the hydrant out to 123 Main Street. But there's really, nobody has taken responsibility for that. So now it's going to be on the homeowner to come in, and that pool contractor or whoever is going to have to contact that homeowner and say, you have to go to the city building, fill out an application, and then it will be the homeowner's responsibility. There's down to section 33 now in terms of fees. We changed the trip charge. If somebody has their water shut off for an extended period of time, to go to Florida or what have you, currently it's $20. This rule change would change it to $50, which basically mirrors what it is for the electric shut-offs.
Andy, could I have you pull that up on the TV
yes,
as you kind of go
sorry.
through it?
I start talking.
Sorry to interrupt you.
There, this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Is that good?
Perfect.
Increase the return check fee, and this was something that was brought up in the Board of Public Affairs and Water Sewer Subcommittee meeting. One of the members of the Board of Public Affairs questioned whether $25 was enough for a return check fee. We increased that to $35. And incidentally, I didn't mention, but both the Water and Sewer Subcommittee and the BOPA passed these rules. That's why we're here tonight. It adds a $1 minimum charge for a hose meter use. Currently, it's $10 a month. That doesn't change. But if you use it for one day and take it back, that's 33 cents. We're just making that $1 minimum. So if you use it for one day, it's $1. And the hydrant meter charge, we're adding at $10 a day. And that will be a $10 minimum. Those are the changes in a nutshell. If you have any questions, I have some backup out here, so feel free to ask.
Andy, when was the last time this was done?
2014, 10 years.
That was the last time we modified the
The rules, but,
not this section.
Okay,
right.
It's been
no longer than that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Andy, thank you and your staff for putting all this info together. I know it's not an easy job, so. we
I know
really
Brittany
appreciate it.
doesn't, or Brittany, Brandy does not come to the meetings, but Brandy is a
Absolutely.
wealth of knowledge and a wonderful resource, and we use her extensively when we get into this kind of stuff, so I really like to speak highly of Brandy as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you, Brandy. Okay, Michaela, please call the roll on the ordinance, please.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes. That will move to second read. Item I4, resolution number 026-24, a resolution authorizing the participation in the Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Program and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Andy?
Thank you, Council President. This particular legislation is for crack sealing materials that we buy on an annual basis.
The services,
Yes, for the service. And then this legislation allows us to utilize the ODOT state purchasing program.
Okay. Is this an annual thing, Chad?
Yes, we do this each year. We're required to submit this legislation every 2 years. So this is our year for the legislation. But we budget $50,000 each year for crack sealing, and then the operations superintendent, Brian, he makes a determination of what streets to concentrate on. He works out with this company that's registered with the state, and then they give us a price, and we try to spend up to that budget to get the streets that are at the top of our list for crack sealing.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Okay, I'm hearing none. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes. That'll move to second read. Item I5, resolution number 027-24, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute all documents necessary to apply for and accept Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Program and local transportation improvement program funds for projects deemed necessary by the city engineer in the year 2025 and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Second. Thank you. Andy?
Yes, Council President. This funding is typically referred to as Issue 2 funding. And engineering traditionally applies for this funding for sanitary sewer projects. The reason these funds will be allocated toward a project we'd like to do on West Clinton and Erie Street in 2025. And this legislation is required to allow me to sign all the forms to make the application.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Any questions from council? Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes. Okay, that will also move to second read. Item I6, ordinance number 028-24, an ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a wastewater collection and treatment contract between the city of Napoleon, Ohio and the Campbell Soup Company and declaring an emergency.
I'll motion.
Second.
Thank you. Andy?
Yes, Council President, this wastewater collection contract, we've been working with Campbell Soups starting back in November 2023. Chad and Jay and I have been meeting with them to determine the feasibility and the options for having them connect to our system. Campbell's hired an engineering firm to do all the design of the infrastructure. And most recently, we met in May to come to an agreement on the rate. We presented this opportunity to the Board of Public Affairs and the Water Sewer Subcommittee at their meetings on June 10th, and both bodies approved to move forward with this contract. It includes a monthly capacity charge of $35.19, a commodity charge at the industrial and commercial rate of $7.56 per unit. It has industrial metering and monitoring at a rate of $25 per sample. And then it has some excess strength surcharges. And it further states, the contract further states that all the increases, or all the charges are subject to increase by this body.
Any questions or comments from council? I am hearing none. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Abstain.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Lee?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll move to item J, second reading of ordinances and resolutions. J1, ordinance number 024-24, an ordinance approving current March 2023 through April 2024 replacement pages to the City of Napoleon codified ordinances. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Thank you.
Well, I hope your packet's opened a little quicker this week. We didn't include the 193 pages of the codified documents in your packet, but figured you'd had those in the past, and you can always open them and review them if you wish. So there are no changes to this legislation.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Lee?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes. That will move to third reading. Item K, third reading of ordinances and resolutions. K1, ordinance number 017-24, water purchase contract, and ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a water purchase contract between the City of Napoleon, Ohio, and the Village of Holgate, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second?
Thank you. Andy?
Since our last meeting, I described some changes that Holgate had requested. I made those changes to the contract and sent it back to them for their review and approval. I have not heard back from them yet, but I outlined the timeline for what we are doing here. Once it's passed tonight, it has the emergency clause, so once the mayor signs it, it will take effect. And then Holgate can move forward once they sign the document. Otherwise, there are no changes to the legislation.
Questions or comments? Okay. I would just like to thank the Village of Holgate for the opportunity and for the trust that they're putting in us. Look forward to that partnership. So, Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Lee?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes. That will pass on third read under emergency. Item L, good of the city. L1, discussion or action to approve bid documents and engineering specifications to replace the transformer, switchgear, and control house for the Enterprise Substation Upgrade Project. Andy?
Yes, Council President, I do have Mike and Greg here tonight to back me up when I start to fumble this one, but when we purchased this, when AMP purchased the substation 5-6 years ago. 2 years ago? Time flies. When we received the money from AMP, one of the items that we were required to do is upgrade the substation. So we're just asking for approval now on the bidding materials and engineering specifications to move forward with that. It will likely be a couple of years yet before we actually start the work. But some of these, transformer is a long lead item, and other items as well are long lead items, so we need to move forward with getting these things ordered. Again, per Greg's memo, the substation's from 1974, so regardless of whether this was something that AMP wanted us to do or not, it's prudent to go through and completely redo it at this point, so 50 years old.
Do we have a ballpark idea of cost?
In 2019, we received an estimate of $3 million. Obviously, times have changed, where we wouldn't be a bit surprised if it's not double that. So, for instance, one of the main items back in 2019 was $630,000. Right now, it's closer to $2 million. So. Did I miss anything? You guys just don't want to talk. I'll hear it tomorrow.
I don't know what the price of the transfer we're gonna do, but, I mean, if you look at what the year of the transformer is, anticipating any growth for Napoleon, we're kind of stuck where we're at right now. We could handle something little, like the company that's possibly gonna come in, but if we had somebody that would take the property out there that they're trying to move, like beside the Harley shop, on the same side of the road to the west. And it was somebody that was relatively bigger, and you have to turn them away, because we wouldn't have enough coming out of industrial to
Support that.
yeah, to take them on. So it's gonna be a supply and demand issue, and if you wanna see anticipate any growth in your industrial park, this is a must-do
Yeah.
with this transformer.
For their part, AMP is investing close to $11 million in this whole upgrade, so it's a big deal.
Thanks, Greg. We're just seeking approval tonight?
Correct.
Okay. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion.
Second?
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes. Item L2, discussion or action, 2025 tax budget. Andy?
I'll take that.
Or Kevin.
Thank you.
You don't want to
Um,
talk about
So the Finance and Budget Committee met, and they went over the 2025 tax budget, which we're required to do annually, and submitted to the county auditor by the end of July. This is brought up because it was an oversight on my part when I asked for the second quarter budget adjustments. That's all I asked for the law director to enact legislation. So I'm asking for the council to enact, have the law director enact this legislation, and then it'll come forward at next meeting.
Perfect. Is there a motion to direct the law director?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. All right, we will go around the table. Andy, I'm sorry on your side this evening.
I just want to say, Parks and Rec Department is very busy this week, putting together all the events for the 4th of July celebration. And I couldn't begin to tell you what's going on, but our City of Napoleon Facebook page does a nice job of outlining events throughout the rest of the week. That's all I have.
Thank you. Billy?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Jordan?
this evening. Nothing.
Ken?
Nothing.
Mr. Mayor?
Andy took mine. I was going to talk about the Parks and Rec, and thanks. But I do have a little bit more details, because I have the Facebook page pulled up. So tomorrow is a big wheel race, and that's going to be at Glenwood Park. In the past, I think that's been at Oakwood, from what I remember, so it's nice to note that it's going to be at Glenwood this time. And then on Wednesday, we'll have the cornhole tournament. That starts at 5 o'clock, same location at the Glenwood Park basketball court. And then on Thursday night, 10 o'clock, fireworks. I believe on Thursday morning, we do have the hot shot basketball contest, as well as the girls softball skill challenge. And that's at the high school field. And there's chicken barbecue with American Legion. Open swim also will be between noon and 6 p.m. on Thursday. And the Senior Little League Baseball All-Star Game is also 5 o'clock on Thursday. Fireworks at 10. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who sponsors the open swim or the free swim? On the food?
Not noted on here. I know it used to be the Legion, but I've not heard
Yeah.
if it still is.
You're right. I know it, in the past it's been Legion, but I couldn't tell you who it
Yeah.
is this year. Sorry, I apologize for that.
We'll find
I
out.
hadn't seen it printed anywhere.
No, me either. Do you know if we cleared things up? Just want to make sure, Andy, for the Napoleon Community Band that's playing at 8 PM. I know
Yes.
there are some
Yes, I
conflicts
have
there with.
made, I'm sorry to interrupt, but yes, I have. I know last year there were some very upset people.
Right.
And yes, I have reiterated to Tony a couple of times, we need to make provisions so that doesn't happen again.
Okay,
So
great,
we should be on top of it.
okay. And Billy, we're not allowed to shoot off fireworks ourselves in the city limits, are we?
Please don't.
Please don't.
Please don't.
It's illegal, number one, but you could set your neighbor's house on fire too, so
Right.
that's not being very neighborly, I suppose.
Well, it's nice that the city does it for us. and
Yeah.
We don't have to worry
In a
about it.
controlled way that's not gonna set anybody's house on fire, so let's stick with that.
Okay, thank you.
I know people won't, but.
Right. That's all I have.
Okay. Brittany?
So over the weekend, I had a lot of heavy conversation on what Safe Haven presented a couple of Mondays ago. So just for the community's sake, what is the process going forward with what is being presented with Safe Haven? Is it a committee? Is it a planning commission? Do we know?
Yeah, I think we're still debating on if that's something we want to send to committee or not. Once we have that determination, it would likely go to municipal properties.
More than likely.
And from there, that committee would either make a recommendation for or against. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, and if any of you have any thoughts, questions, just fire them off to me. I'll try and compile a list so that we don't miss anything. There's a lot of questions to be
Yes,
answered there.
yes.
So, and then I'll just take it from there.
Thank you.
Anything else? Dr. Dave?
Nothing for me.
Tom?
Thank you.
Kevin?
I have one item. Just last week, Auditor of State Keith Faber's office issued a bulletin regarding a new state mandatory training for reporting fraud, waste, and abuse of public dollars. It is a requirement of all new hires to go through this. It's an 8-minute video. I did it today, training. As well as every 4 years, every employee for the city of Napoleon will have to go through that, including elected officials. So you will be receiving some information regarding about that within the next couple of weeks. And it'll be a video that you'll have to watch, and then you can click you'll click get a certificate, and then once we have that, we can put you on our list that has been completed. Again, there's no test to it, it's just a matter that you have to watch this video. But we are required by the end of September, it started today, July 1st, to the end of September, September 28th, to have everybody complete the training. So just keep your eyes and ears open about that, and if you have questions about it, let me know.
I know Brittany did send out an email to heads of departments and council this afternoon. So.
Just verified that.
Yeah.
It is very easy, just a 7.5-minute video to finish up. Once you do finish that, Brittany asked if we could just send her a copy of the certificate of our completion, so don't forget that piece. Anything else, Kevin?
That's it.
All right. Nothing from me, however, I will call a brief executive session for pending or imminent court action, please. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll to go into executive session.
Ken?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave? Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes. All right. Can we have a motion to come out of executive session for pending or imminent court action, please?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ken?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes. No action taken there. Item N, approve payment of bills. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the payment of bills shall stand approved. They will stand approved. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion?
Michaela, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Nice job, man. You made that like a pro these days.